Hello, this is Elyse Kaye. I'm the founder and CEO of Bloom Bras as well as AHA Product Solutions, and I am an outlier.
Welcome to Outlier on Air with Ever Gonzalez, the show where we interview the founders, disruptors, and mavens of the world. Learn how grit, failure, and success are all a part of the entrepreneurial journey.
Hey everybody, welcome to Outlier on Air, the podcast where we interview founders, disruptors, and mavens. As always, I'm your host, Ever Gonzalez. On today's episode, we have Elyse Kaye. She is the founder and CEO of Bloom Bras. Elyse, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
We're happy you're here as well. We've seen you around a little bit. You've been on a couple other podcasts, and then just kind of you having your Kickstarter campaign, which we'll get into that here in just a bit. We're excited about what you're doing. It's not something that we usually talk about on this show, but I think the things that we can learn from you are going to be universal. So again, thank you.
Absolutely.
Before we get started, tell us where you're calling us from.
I'm calling in from San Francisco. Beautiful San Francisco.
One of our favorite cities. I love San Francisco. Now, is it important that you're there for the kind of work that you do?
No, what's nice about the work that I do is most of what I do is virtual.
Mm-hmm.
And so being in the Bay Area, I think there's more of a sense of excitement around the entrepreneur. So from that, for me, this was very inspirational. I wrote the business plan for Bloom Bras in 1999 and sat on it because I know the trials and tribulations and the difficulties of bringing a product to market. But being around such inspirational people and a level of energy was inspiring enough to me to say, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it.
I love it. And this is, we'll get into this, the company here in just a sec, but I mean, with your background, with the things that you've worked on, with the things that you're working on now, you could be doing anything else in the world, right? Why bras? Why now?
So it's a great question. The main answer is that I have struggled for years to find a sports bra that works. And like many entrepreneurs out there, tried to solve for a problem that I personally was feeling myself. As I started to do the research, I found that there were so many more women out there than I had initially anticipated that were having the same set of challenges. So to give you a little bit of background, and then I'll tell you a little bit about Bloom Bras, but the average bra size in the United States has grown from a 34B to a 34D, actually bordering on a 34 double D in just 20 years' time.
That seems like that's a big jump.
It is a huge jump, huge jump. And so what I used to do is I would do what so many women would do is makeshift my own. So I would wear two sports bras, or I'd wear an underwire bra under a sports bra. And I started doing some research into that and found out some of the health risks, which is, again, part of the reason why I knew that now was the time to take on this challenge.
So, and just to be clear, it's a sports bra, not necessarily just an under the clothes underwear type of bra, right? I mean, you can wear this to the gym.
So you can. So this was developed to be a bra specifically geared towards active wear, but not necessarily only for exercising. So what I found is that women, a sports bra tends to be a little bit more comfortable than a typical bra. So women will wear them both for activities as well as in travel and lounging around the house. So one of the other things that was important to me was underwire is really bad for your health. And so I wanted to develop a product that did not use underwire as well as adjusted to the woman's body. Mm-hmm. So again, I started with sports bras. We're going to expand beyond there, but that was the easiest path into the market and the problem that I was having the most challenges with.
And so I mean, you're competing with some, I'm assuming some big players, Nike, the Adidas, those type of players out there. How are you different, or how can you get clients that or customers that are going to look at your stuff over the big boys?
Absolutely. So For me, when I set out for this to solve this problem, I knew that I couldn't go after just to create another bra or another sports bra. So I brought in people from several different industries. So I started talking to folks in the shipping industry, in the aerospace industry. I've been working very closely with NASA, with material specialists, and then I hired a woman who does all of the corsetry work for people like Oprah Winfrey, Aretha Franklin, Katy Perry, as well as all the opera singers and ballerinas. Because I wanted to make sure that we were creating something that wasn't a typical product, but that actually addressed some of the needs of women that are out there. So there's nothing like this. It's patented. We've got a lifting system that works like a shelf. So the straps on the sports bra are adjustable, and then the cups cinch to your body. The back is a completely breathable mesh that is made out of a wicking material. And all of the hardware is brought to the front because I wanted, again, the adjustments to be easy. So there's very little that would be a competing product. This is really innovative and unique to the marketplace.
So all this without you were saying the underwiring?
Yes, no underwires, correct.
And so what's the material made out of?
So we use a bunch of state-of-the-art materials. So we use a breathable mesh, and then we use almost like a heavier neoprene, but that's completely breathable. This is used a lot in spacesuits, scuba gear, some other industries, again, like the shipping industry. It's used for weight bearing when underwire on the flip side is used more to give that lifting appearance.
Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, I'm trying to figure out is it just big chested women? I mean, I don't even know how to explain.
Yes. So we're starting with well endowed women. So we start at a 30D and we go up to a 44K. So places like Victoria's Secret, Athleta, Lululemon have all come out and said that they do not want to work with those women. Those are not
really?
clientele. Oh, yes.
Wait, so they're completely not even offering anything for those type of women.
That's correct.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So it makes a little bit more sense, right? That
absolutely.
You are doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. And again, as more and more women move up in bra sizes, which that's going to continue to grow for a variety of reasons, we want to be the solution for them. Plus, we wanted to create something, it's a different set of challenges. So the average body changes about 10% per month for females, whether it be just normal weight gain and loss, hormones, time of the month, as well as your body heats up because you're exercising. So if you're a B cup, that's not a big deal. But if you're a triple D, that's actually a full cup size that you change within a month. So again, it's a different set of challenges. What a lot of the athletic wear companies out there have done is they take a style that works for the masses and then they just keep making it bigger. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't work. And these women are very frustrated. I mean, I'm constantly scouring the internet and talking to our customers and our clients, and it is amazing. I mean, people are angry. They're frustrated. They want a solution that works for them and don't feel like their voices are being heard.
How are the bras being received now? I mean, are you still getting the product out there? Are you in selling online, or are you in department stores?
So we are not in department stores. We are just moving into production, so it's exciting. We launched via Kickstarter in September, and just to give you an idea, we met our fundraising goal of $20,000 in 82 hours.
Oh wow!
And we had over 240,000 people come through our Facebook page in just 3 weeks' time when we initially launched. I get love letters on a daily basis from women all across the globe, and we haven't even told people we exist.
That must make you feel good. I mean, you've obviously struck a nerve. You found a solution to problems that these women have, and so you're talking about above and beyond the bras. You're thinking about other products as well.
Yes, we will expand beyond this. For me, it was important to walk before we run. Uh-huh. So using things like our patented lifting system. It was important to me that this worked for all of the different body types that are out there. So somebody who is narrow with a larger chest it's going to fit differently than somebody who's maybe a broader person. So we wanted to make sure, again, from a perfection standpoint, that we were delivering on everything that we're claiming. So we're starting with sports bras for well-endowed women, but we've got quick plans to move into specific lines for pre and post maternity, who's been, I would say, probably our most vocal group of women who've been reaching out saying, here's all the challenges I have that I want you to solve for, as well as some of the other markets that are not currently being talked to. So the company has a give back program with breast cancer survivors. So women who've gone through non-elective reconstructive surgery, oftentimes one breast is a different size than the other. The way that the Bloom bra was developed, it works specifically with these women. And so, again, as part of my commitment to this community that I've been touched by in so many ways, we're donating sports bras to these women to help them get back onto their feet. And we will continue to develop for this particular market because more and more women, again, unfortunately, are affected. But on the fortunate side, we've got a higher level of survivor rate than we ever have.
You certainly, I mean, you're obviously a company with a mission, right? I mean, how, decision-wise, when is it more trying to worry about revenue than it is about a mission? I mean, you are a for-profit company, I'm assuming, right?
We are a for-profit company, and we don't, with the donation project, that is 100% just something that I feel very passionate about.
Nice.
That's also, the company is named Bloom Bras after my grandmother, who I was extremely close with, who I lost to breast cancer. And on a personal note, again, when I look at companies with give back programs, I think that it always starts with the most positive of intentions. For me, it's a positive intention, but it's also to make sure that these women, that they're not forgotten and that they talk about this product. I think that that's absolutely, an honest answer to any give back program.
I love it. Well, you've obviously struck a chord, and a lot of people are already excited about what you're doing. So, when does it launch? When will people be able to actually go out there and buy them?
In January. So we are actually in production right now on a limited basis. We actually sold out of our first order,
Did you
which
really?
is fantastic.
Nice.
We did, which is great. It's a wonderful problem to have, but then there's challenges in getting the materials, and like any entrepreneur who is dealing with a startup, you face these challenges where all of a sudden you think things are going really well and in a positive direction, and then the material that you're using is back ordered, or your factory has another big order that comes in from a larger client and they take priority. And so we're facing some of those challenges and taking them on on a day-to-day basis. And I will tell you, my community has been amazing and so great with their feedback and with their patience as we have been getting up and running.
With the feedback that we do with each episode, yeah, I can definitely see that. Again, I think you're doing something that a lot of women are responding to. So, hopefully there's a little bit of giving you a little bit of slack as you figure these things out. Although it doesn't sound like it's horrible. I mean, it sounds like you're on top of it and been able to kind of get your team on it. Speaking of your team, how big is your team?
My team is very, very small. So far, it's all just folks who have been gracious enough to donate time.
Oh, really? Okay.
And donate their resources. And like I said, we struck a chord with a couple people, especially some of the work that we've been doing, with places like NASA and whatnot. It's caused a lot of interest in the company. My background is in product development, so I've spent years working with some pretty large brands on bringing products to market. So I know what the set of challenges are, which, like I said, that's part of the reason why I had no intention of doing this, but I'm very excited that we are doing it and that I made this decision to jump into entrepreneurship.
And so with these bras, can women wear them to like go get lunch? I mean, are they stylish enough where, we see,
Absolutely.
okay, they are.
So for me, that was one of the biggest areas that I wanted to focus on. So I wanted to create something that was going to be comfortable, adjustable, breathable, and all the hardware I wanted to be in the front for ease of use. But then the driving factor at the end of the day was I wanted this bra to look good. So these women, one of the things that I hear over and over and over again is I don't want to feel like I'm wearing a suit of armor.
Hmm.
I don't want to feel like I'm wearing something that is that is uncomfortable, that is binding. So we created a very sexy, very beautiful product that people have been proud to wear.
How long does it last?
And it depends on how often you wear it and how you care for it.
Really? Is it
So,
is this something you can throw like in the wash, or
yes.
is it
Yeah,
delicate enough where?
yeah, you can absolutely throw it in the wash.
So I'm trying to figure out. There must be. You talked a little bit about the production, the warehousing, and all that stuff. What are the challenges though, other than that? Maybe because I think that that's easily solvable, right? Once you get in your groove. There's obviously a lot of positive things coming out. You are obviously more than capable of doing this because of your background. What's the overall biggest challenge for you though right now?
So the challenge will be once we actually get the product up and running and smooth into production, I want to focus in on selling as much direct to consumer as
Okay.
possible. And so it's getting the word out, it's managing your forecasts, it's managing as people trying the bra. You're always going to have your naysayers. You're always going to have people who love the product and people who it's not for them. So it's understanding and it's taking the feedback and not letting that sway your direction, but letting it filter future conversations. I would say so far we've probably had at least 60 different women wearing the bra, and I would say that almost every one of them has had only positive things to say. The negative things we put in a document. So something like, I wish it did X, Y, and Z, or it would be great if it would function in this way, or I want different colors, which we've heard time and time again.
Hmm.
Those are all things that we document and we know we're going to come back to. But I would say that my biggest advice, having done this countless times for other folks, is to stay the course. So for me, it was really important to put a good product out there, but not over skew it with a ton of different colors and varieties. We'll get there, but I would rather walk before I run. And again, make sure that the product is right uh, before overcommitting on inventory.
I love that. As entrepreneurs, we get really excited about our stuff, and with all the positive feedback that you have received, it would be so easy for you to go back and be like, "Oh yeah, and we're going to add this and this and this right away, right?" And then possibly screw it up. You're in a position where because you've done this before, you're kind of controlling those urges. I'm assuming because of all of the praise that you're getting. Is it hard for you to say no to some of the people that are saying different color, different style, different things?
Oh my gosh, of course. And you get excited. You talk
Sure.
to these women. I had this woman the other day, so positive, and she was like, I want to buy 20 of these, and I wanted it pink and green, this and that. And it's hard not to say, you're right, let's do
Yeah.
that. When you see somebody get that excited, but then when all that excitement comes down and you say, but am I really going to sell that many pink or green? Maybe in time, yes. It's the same thing with I've had some amazing celebrities reach out through different channels. And, when you hear a certain celebrity wants to wear your product, of course you jump up and down and you say, yes, I want to get you one right now. And I'm putting you as a priority, but for me, my customers are my priority. And so I want to make sure that those orders are filled before we move into any big press moves or into any endorsements and things like that. So
You're very disciplined and very organized. Congratulations. That is difficult to do. It would be easy for all of us to be, oh, absolutely. Katy Perry, you want this? Oh, yes. Whatever you need. Right. Whoever it is.
right.
Now, I would be concerned, and maybe obviously you've thought about this, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit. But now, if this is successful, you're going to see a lot of copycats kind of coming in and trying to take a piece of this market. Does that worry you, or the big boys coming back and saying, "Oh yeah, we're back in. We're going to do this." How are you going to fight that off?
No, to me, well, first of all, we did in fact move forward with patents and whatnot
Good.
to try to protect ourselves. Your patent is only as strong as your protection is, and so I know that. For me, again, it's really constantly having then a new product and talking to these women. I mean, what's really resonated is that my story is the same as their stories. So in talking to them and explaining why I did this and why I spent 10 years of my life and countless prototypes developing what I feel to be the ideal sports bra. When the larger companies come out with a product like that, it's one of dozens of products. Mm-hmm. In this case, I'm hoping that my story resonates.
By then, absolutely. I like what you're doing, right? Because it's different. You're obviously are passionate about this. You have this mission behind you. What is this going to look like in 3 years?
So we will have several different lines of products, all stemming from the sports bra, mm-hmm. but we're moving into some other areas as well. My goal again is to keep these women in mind. So as a well-endowed woman, I have trouble finding sleepwear. I have trouble finding other activewear outside of sports bras that fit. I have trouble finding swimwear. Those are all things that are on the table, as well as looking at all these other niche markets and, again, looking at things like the pre and post maternity, some of the senior markets that don't necessarily get addressed. Those are all on the table for discussion right now, and we're talking to these women so that, again, we take the same care and love for developing each product line as we have for the Bloom bra.
Is this your first launch on your own as an entrepreneur? I know this is your background, but is this your first time?
It is. I've launched some I've launched brands for a variety of different companies. So a lot of them have been from the startup, the mm-hmm. ground up. Some of them have been heavily resourced for some larger brands and larger clients. Some of them have been for medium size. And I've worked with a few startups along the way as well. So I know I've launched many a products, but it's totally different when it's your own baby. And I was, I've said in multiple conversations, nobody prepares you for the emotional experience that comes with launching your own baby.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a bit, right? There are highs and there are lows, right? I'm assuming you've received the highs when you get the feedback from the women that you're working with and seeing the Kickstarter campaign do so well. There must be lows, and when you are experiencing those, how do you like stay motivated? How do you get out of it?
So the lows come on and they're fast and they're furious. there's not a day that goes by that I don't question, wouldn't it be so much easier to do blah blah blah, or to go back to my years in corporate America? Absolutely. And I would say that being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart, because the the setbacks, when they happen, you have to have an excellent support system, which
Mhm.
I am very, very fortunate to have with friends, family, and uh, colleagues, folks that I've met in the industry. And so you know that when these setbacks happen, you can pick up the phone and call them, and they could say, "Oh yeah, I've been there before," and talk you off that ledge. But it happens very, very frequently.
And you're able to I don't know, keep pushing because of your support system.
Well, again, I think it's your support system, and it's you have to be very passionate. If I wasn't extremely passionate about this, I would have walked away about 1,000 times. But I know that we're on to something really great, and I know that that this is what I want to see this thing come to fruition. And because of that, when I hit a low, I'm able to identify that it's a low and that I'll get past it. But again, I think a lot of that is just because I've got amazing people around me who um, I can call and talk to when I'm having those moments of doubt.
Let's talk a little bit about advice for our audience, right? So we have entrepreneurs that are from all over the world. I'm assuming some of them have launched something, are looking to launch something soon. With your experience, not only with your own company now, but because of what you've done in the past, what can we look out for? What should we be doing in order to make sure that we're on the right path to a great launch?
So I would say talk to anyone and everyone.
Mhm.
So rather than keeping your idea close to your chest and noodling over it every night by yourself, I would say talk to the community, reach out. There are so many amazing people who've blazed this path for people like me and for people like your listeners out there. And they are a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of resources. Like I said earlier, I would love to get to the point where I can hire a strong team, but I'm not there today.
Mhm.
And so, therefore, I rely on these amazing people to help me identify whether it be factory resources or financial resources, or talk to them because I don't know what a blah, 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 fill in the blank is. Um, it's been an amazing experience. So I would say talk to everybody, network like crazy, and stay the course. So when you write that business plan, make sure it's a tight business plan and that you stick to it, because it's so easy to get distracted. And I think that that's where so many wonderful ideas end up falling apart, is because the founder gets distracted by the next shiny thing.
Mhm. Happens all the time. Happens
Absolutely.
all the
And
time.
it happens to me too. So I can give out that advice. It doesn't mean I always take
That's
it.
right. It's easier to give that advice than follow it all the time for ourselves. I think that's fantastic advice. I think because of who we are and the interviews that we do and the events that we have, we see entrepreneurs all the time that uh, they just like you mentioned in the beginning, they keep it close to themselves and they don't talk about their idea. It's wrong. I mean, they should be talking about it because sometimes, like you mentioned, there are people that have done it already that they can help you tweak the idea or just help you with different things that they can help you get to that next level. So obviously you're one of those people. So we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Um,
Absolutely. And I encourage, if anybody in your listening audience ever wants to, feel free to reach out. I love discussing this and I love sharing their stories because, again, I think talking about it and talking through some of these questions and challenges, it helps us all.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Our last question is, where can we find you online if we want to connect with you?
Best way would be either through the Bloom Bras website, which is www.bloombras.com. Send me an email. I'm Elyse, Elyse, at bloombras.com. Or we're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So come find us.
Awesome. So Outliers, you can go to outliermagazine.co. That's outliermagazine.co. First of all, subscribe to the podcast, rate, review it. But there you're going to see links to Elise's website, to her social media accounts. Feel free to reach out to her, connect with her. She's obviously doing something great, something that's resonating with a lot of other entrepreneurs and consumers. This has been amazing. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, to share your words of wisdom, and tell us about the awesome things that you're working on. So thank you for being on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Outliers, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Is this the life I've been given? They try so hard to be happy, but we all know it's the opposite of being free. It's the monthly low pay, always at the same rate. No matter if I stay working late, clock out for my lunchtime, spend half of it in line, fighting myself not to run away. I wish I could just hop on